Hey guys, it's Dave here. For those of you who know me, you know I love motorcycles, you know I love adventure, and you know I love hanging out with my brothers. You put all three of those together and well, you end up with a pretty amazing motorcycle trip. I've been able to lead my brothers on these trips for the past 16 years, and for some crazy reason, they keep showing up. We've traveled through most of the western states, and have ridden through just about every type of weather that you can imagine. Over the years, I've ridden some pretty amazing roads, come across scenery that has taken my breath away, and experienced weather that one can only dream for. But for me, what makes these trips so special are my brothers who continue to join me each year and the memories that we have created. Sure, we found some pretty amazing food and beer along the way, but hey, those are simply just an added bonus. We ride, we explore, and we praise God. Over the past year, I've been inspired by a group of guys through social media to start documenting my trips. I used this past trip as a trial run to get my feet wet and try to figure things out. I've learned a lot through this process, and I know I have a long ways yet still to go. It's not perfect, and definitely not professional, but I do hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, guys are starting to show up, and I am getting more excited each time I hear one of the guys slow down to pull into the driveway. Ross, John, and Rob were able to meet me here at my place, and we soon would be meeting up with Caton at the Port Townsend Ferry Terminal. As soon as everyone arrived, we wasted no time saddling up and hitting the road. We were all more than ready to get this trip started. It was a beautiful evening as we rode Highway 20 over Deception Pass. The sun was shining bright through the trees, and boy were we soaking it up. We arrived at our cabin in Burlington, Washington, got the bikes unpacked, and headed into town. We stopped at a place called the Railroad Pub and Pizza, and it definitely had enough character to satisfy our standards. We ordered up a few pizzas, and the guys went to town on Bodhisattva while we waited. The food was amazing, the service was great, and the atmosphere was on point. If you're ever in the area, give them a shot. You'll be glad you did. We headed back to our cabin, had a few more drinks, and called it a night. The first day of our trip was in the books, and everybody was happy with how it turned out. Day 2, we got an early start, stopped for a few coffees, and headed up Highway 20, the North Cascade Highway. We stopped for an early lunch at the Schoolhouse Brewery in Winthrop, Washington. We enjoyed some Rude Awakening IPA while we waited for our tables to clear up. We chose to skip breakfast on this morning, so Rude Awakening had no problem living up to its name. The Schoolhouse Brewery is my favorite place in this town to stop. Great food, drinks, and outside seating overlooking the river, and again, enough character to satisfy our demands. If you've not been here, put it on your list. After lunch, we got back on the road and headed for our destination. We were not sure what to expect as we approached Omak, since they had a few large fires that were burning in the area, and we had gotten word that the roads had just recently opened up. We ended up rolling through there with no problems, and the smoke was not as bad as we expected it to be. We arrived at our cabin in Kettle Falls, got settled in, and headed to town to find some dinner. We came across the Backyard Barbecue, and needless to say, it was an easy decision. Ross and our waitress convinced us to order up the cowboy dip with some fries, and we all gave it 2 thumbs up. We headed back to our cabin to enjoy some drinks around the campfire. Being that this was most likely the only fire we would have on this trip, due to all the burn bans in the state, we made it count and hung out around the fire till about midnight. It was a great time of talking about our past trips, and many stories were told. I love hearing my brother's stories and the memories that they hold tight. It's moments like these that remind me of why I continue to do these trips each year. We ran out of firewood and decided to call it a night. We all went to bed with smiles because we added another great day to the books. We stopped for lunch at the Knotty Pine in Republic. My plan was to eat light today until my brother seen a burger that looked like we just had to have it. So, pretty sure we made a bad choice in ordering it, but it was pretty good. We let the food settle for a bit, then saddled up and headed to Leavenworth. We had to change our route as there are several fires burning in the state, and we got word that the direction we wanted to go was not safe. We ended up heading to Grand Coulee and Banks Lake, which would split between a few of the fires. Conditions quickly changed, the smoke got thick, and it was a bit eerie feeling as we did not know what lied ahead of us. We were all happy to finally make it to our destination in Leavenworth. We all felt exhausted after the ride and took a few moments to kick back before grabbing a few last beers in town. It ended up being an early night for us, but it was fun and memorable for sure. Due to all the smoke in the area from local fires and the smoke rolling in from Oregon and California, we decided to head straight home the next day. For us, the last day is always the hardest. On one hand, you don't want to go home, but on the other, you just want to rip the Band-Aid off. The roads were not great today, but the memories flashing through my mind made up for it. Just like that, in what felt like the snap of the fingers, we are headed home, but we're headed home with another book of great memories.